What's up guys, it's your boy Sabri back at it again with another video. Today I'm a computer science major and I'm going to go over what the classes I took in the last few years. I've taken a lot of CS classes, some were chill, others totally destroyed me. So today I'm ranking every CS class I've ever taken from no sweats, we did it, let's go, whoop, whoop, to why did I even do this to myself, bro? This is the real CS course tier list, so there's gonna be no sugarcoating, so let's go. Alright, first things first, we're looking at Introduction to Computer Science 2. I mean, I didn't do this in order, I just kind of like wrote down the course lists. It was like a little bit shuffled, so we're starting with 2 instead of 1 here. But that class was pretty cool. I would give this a moderate rating. It wasn't that bad. You know, you could spend about 4 to 5 hours and then you'll get the hang of it. It's like hello world, normal, like adding, math, arithmetic, very chill. Introduction to Computer Science 1, I will put that as chill. You know, this is if you can print hello world and you know what a for loop is, what a while loop is, you know, you're pretty much halfway done. So I think this one was pretty chill. So next we go to web development. Alright guys, I ain't gonna lie to you, this web development class took a lot of time. Like it took me, you know, like I would say like 12 hours every week. It is, you know, it's expected for you to do that kind of work in a college class. But I think that web development could go into the difficult one, just because we had to do a application using MongoDB, which is a database kind of application. So what the main project for it was to create a CRUD operation. So CRUD stands for you want to create a song, replace a song, update a song, and delete a song. So it did take a while. There's not a lot of people that were able to figure it out, but I was one of the people who was able to figure it out. It got taken out of the curriculum after that term, just because it wasn't really that easy to understand. So I'm gonna put it in the difficult tier. Software engineering 2. Okay, in software engineering 2, we had to do a bunch of user testing. So one of the things that just didn't make sense to me is, why would we write code to test a software when we can just like click on the buttons ourselves and test it? But you know, it just makes sense that you want to have the computer do it just in case, so that you can think of all the different operations that can happen and make sure that you covered all your bases. So you know what, it wasn't that bad. Software engineering 2, I'm gonna put it in the difficult tier, but it wasn't extreme, you know. And if you sat down and listened to the lectures, my professor at least recorded his lectures, so all I had to do was just like rewind back to the lecture notes, and then I was able to kind of get back on track on the things that I wanted to think about really. Okay, next up we have the Senior Capstone Project. Alright guys, this one you might have to call 988. Send your prayers, bro, because like the real pressure of having to get this project off the ground in literally no time, and it's like simulating real life situations. So you're working on a project for about 3 terms, about 9 months, and I still haven't taken that class, but from what I've heard a lot of horror stories. Alright, now we go to Calc 3. Okay, Calc 3, I'm thinking, you know, I'm gonna put it in the extreme. It's not call 988 status, but I'm you know, after you start dealing with real life objects, math becomes really intense. You know, I struggled a little bit with calculus, but Calc 3 was another level that I just never thought that it could get this intense ever. So next up we have Programming Language Fundamentals. So this class gives you the fundamentals of programming. If you were working with MATLAB, or if you're working with Python or any other application just like that, it gives you the fundamentals of, I mean, it's in the name, you know, the main idea of how a programming language works. So I'm gonna put this one in moderate. It wasn't that bad. It was alright. You know, you're gonna have to do some studying, but that's not gonna be a make or break deal. Calc 2, derivatives, integrals, you know what? I would say moderate. This one seems pretty chill as well. Computer networks. Okay, so my experience with computer networks was when I was working with TCP, IP addresses using Wireshark. The place that I was living in didn't want me to use Wireshark just because I could monitor everybody's logs on the internet by just running that application. So for privacy purposes, they didn't want me to do it. So I had to go to the library in order to run my programs and do my lab tests. So that one was kind of difficult, and the final exam was worth 40% of my grade. I was sitting at an A the entire term, and after I took my final exam, I went down to a B minus. So I'm gonna put this into the difficult tier. That wasn't easy, but I persevered. I got it. We're good to go. So parallel programming. This is actually a class that I'm actually finishing up right now. And to be honest with you guys, OpenMP, MPI, is CUDA sounds easy, right? But like the amount of time that you have to put in and the amount of work that you have to do is just crazy. So I'm just gonna put this in the extreme tier list. It is a 400 level class, so I mean, you kind of know what you signed up for once you started it. It's up there in the difficulties. Data structures is so essential as a software developer that I just don't think you will get through an education about computer science without understanding data structures like Dijkstra, stacks, queues, and Big O. These things are fundamental. So I'm gonna say this was pretty chill. Data structures was pretty chill. Now we're moving on to another one, which is computer architecture. Okay, I heard other people had an easier time with this, but I struggled with computer architecture. For some reason, I'm not sure if it's because I took it online or not, but I actually found it pretty challenging. So it did give me an idea of how computers think or how they work, because we were working on the low level to the point where we're actually working with registers and connecting them to each other. So I'm going to put computer architecture, it's like 200 level class, but actually it's like pretty extreme. It's for a 200 level class, that was a lot of work. Okay, so next up we have the mobile software development. I'm going to put this at moderate. I mean, you do have to do a little bit of work. You're gonna need to do not a little bit of work, but you're gonna have to put in like a fair amount. Like in order to pass the class, you basically need to put in that work. I did a video about it. You should check out the last video or click on this right here, and you'll be directed to it. Operating systems. All right, guys, this one I'm gonna put at extreme, just because. Wait, hold up. Let's see, can we do this? Yes. So my programs were minimum 300 lines of code, and that's code that I had to generate from my top of my brain. So for the amount of coding that you had to do, and the lectures didn't really help that much. The lectures would talk about a specific topic, and then the assignments would be something totally different, and then the quizzes would be even something totally different. The professor didn't really teach us to the class, like they didn't teach to the quiz. They kind of taught to get us the general idea behind these things. So it was pretty hard, guys. Small SH, just like, that was a nightmare. The professor gave us like 2-week extension in order to finish this up, but I did need to use all that time to get it done. And this is operating systems 1. There is an operating systems 2, and I can't imagine another, like when I finished that class, I was like, all right, there's a part 2 to this. So yeah, I'm not taking the part 2, guys. I'm thinking of doing something else. So discrete math, okay. If you're using logic, I'm gonna put this in moderate. If you're using if you are logically inclined, this wouldn't be that hard. So yeah, I think moderate is the best place for it. Calc 1 was pretty chill. I felt pretty good about it. You know what? it was kind of like a refresher. Definitely, I'm seeing a trend here. As you go further in the Calc series, then it's getting more difficult. But I thought it was pretty chill. You know, I did have to put in a little bit of work, but overall, great experience. Okay, Software Engineering 1. I don't know why this came in later because we just did 2. But Software Engineering 1 was actually one of the bigger projects that we had to do. We made a habit tracking app. And basically, the application was meant for people who want to complete a habit. And they needed something to log their habits in. So that was the main idea behind the application. And we had a group of 7 people trying to chip away on this, and I just struggled with navigating GitHub, you know, pulling requests, updating the code, making branches. It got really tangled up, so I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to work in an environment with a team that big again. Might just need to get, you know, do some more research and, you know, try and get on that level. But I'm gonna put this in, you know, difficult. As the same next to Software Engineering 2. This wasn't easy. Next up, we have computer graphics. The main idea behind this class was 3D objects and OBJ files. A lot of people say this is an easy class, but I did have to take a long time to finish, you know, finish my projects. So I'm actually gonna put this in the moderate one. And yeah, this is concluding all our tier list, as you can see, as you have it, senior capstone, and that's the only one that was really hard. So there you have it. This is my CS tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit you in the next one. Peace.